The purpose of pivot tables is usually to break down a numeric field by categorical fields. However, this video illustrates how a pivot table can be used to find the unique values in a list. For example, if you have a long list of customer names, maybe thousands of them, and the list repeats the same names multiple times, it is not a trivial task to obtain a list of all the customers, with each name listed only once. However, this is extremely easy with a pivot table. As a side benefit, this can sometimes uncover errors in your dataset. I will use the dataset you see here for illustration. It lists the top 500 CEOs in terms of 2008 compensation, using data from a Forbes website. As you can see, the industry is listed in column E. If I want to find a list of all industries in this column, I could sort on industry and work my way down the list, but it would be tedious. Actually, I should mention that there is a fairly easy way to get a list of distinct values without using pivot tables. I could copy a column, such as the industry column, to a blank space in the workbook. Then I could apply the Remove Duplicates item on the data ribbon to this new column, and the result would be a list of the distinct values. However, I will do it with a pivot table. I will create a pivot table and drag industry to the rows area. I immediately see the list of all industries. However, it appears that chemicals is listed twice. Did the pivot table make a mistake? I will look at both instances in the formula bar. Upon close inspection, there is a difference. The second instance has a trailing space, and this is enough to create two entries in the list. Is this really a problem? Yes, it could be. Suppose you eventually want to break down CEO pay by industry. Having two chemicals items in the pivot table, which are really the same industry, would be confusing at best. So the problem needs to be fixed. To find CEOs with this second instance, I will double-click this entry and choose CEO to see more detail. Actually, this is a nice trick in itself. However, as you can see in the Fields pane, this is really just equivalent to adding CEO to the rows area. In any case, I can now see that there is only one CEO, Hugh Grant, with the trailing space. So I will go back to the datasheet and fix his row. Then I will refresh the pivot table. Now there is only one chemicals entry. So if you want to find a quick list of unique values in a long list, a good option is to use a pivot table. It's extremely quick and easy, and it might just uncover errors in your dataset that would be difficult to find in any other way.